So question 28, we've been given a circle and we have points on the circle. A is at 2, 9 and B is at 10, 3. Now we have been told that AB is a diameter of the circle. Now just remind me, what's the diameter again? Sorry? Okay, so it's a line which passes through the circle. It's a line which goes, from one side of a circle to another. I agree with that, but it's a little bit more than just any line that goes from one side of the circle to another. Because are you happy? This would be a line which passes from one side of the circle to the other. The center. Yeah, I did hear it. Yeah, good, well done. So the diameter is a line which passes from one side of the circle to another, but it has to go through the midpoint or the center of the circle. Okay, so it's not just any line, it has to go through the center. We good? Okay, now we have been asked to calculate the radius. The radius. So yeah, exactly. So literally, if this is the diameter which passes from one side of the circle to another, the radius is just half that distance. You happy with that? Yeah, happy with that? Good. So how could we do that? Any ideas? Good. Find the midpoint. I definitely agree with that. So you could find the midpoint of these two things. That would give you the center. Then what would you do with that? Then what would you do with that?
Then I found the 6 and 6.
Yep.
Then I found the length.
Ah, okay, so you're doing it in two stages, which is absolutely fine. So you say, right, I'm going to find the midpoint of these two lines, and then I'm just going to calculate the length from here to here. Okay, that would definitely work. I can see a quicker way though. Yeah, if you find the length of the diameter from here to here, then you just know that a radius is half the diameter. So actually it's less work for you, I think. Yeah. So either way is fine. Either way is fine. So how do you find the distance from A to B? It's the Pythagoras version, isn't it? So can anybody remember? Absolutely right. So it's from 10 to 2. So 10 take away 2 will give you the distance in the x direction. You need to obviously square that. And then add that to the difference in the y direction. So that's going to be 9 take away 3 squared. Okay. So this is going to be 8 squared. This is going to be 6 squared. Square root it. So 64 plus 36 makes 100. If you square root 100, what do you get? 10. Good. It's a nice rational number. Okay. So the distance from here to here is 10, which means that the distance of the radius is going to be 5, half as long. Does that make sense? Yeah. Good. Fantastic. Okay. Then if you look at part 2, it asks you to find an equation of the straight line through A and B. Okay. So in other words, imagine that this line is now continued. Okay. So if I continue this line all the way through here and down here as well. Okay, I'm asked to find the equation of that straight line. And again, give your answer in the form ax plus by plus c equals 0, where a, b and c are integers. How could we do that? Good, so it's a straight line, right? So what two pieces of information do you need? So what two pieces of information do you need first of all? All right, that's fine. Gradient. Y-intercept would be lovely. In general, a point, any point on the long line. Okay. So do we have the gradient yet? No. So how can we define the gradient of this line? Good. So change in y. So gradient is change in y. So if I call that 1.1 and that 1.2, doesn't matter which way round, I'm going to get 3 take away 9, change in y, divided by change in x, which is 10 take away 2. Yep. Okay, so 3 take away 9 is negative 6. 10 take away 2. Simplify it down. 3 over 4. Happy with that? Okay. Do we have a point which lies on the line? We've got 2. We've either got A or B. Which one do you want to use? B. Okay. B is 10, 3. Okay, so can somebody finish this off and can somebody find the equation of the straight line for me? You got the answer there? Okay, fine. I'll do it on the board then. Actually, in this case, what would be the better version to use? Y equals mx plus c, or y take away y1 equals m times x minus x1? Which version? Have a look at how we need to leave our answer. How do we want our answer to be left? It's in that funny form, right? It's ax plus by plus c equals 0, okay? In general, if it asks you to leave it in this general form, ax plus by plus c equals 0, rather than specifically y equals mx plus c, always go for the y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1 version. Okay, it's just easier. Okay, it's just easier to get it in that form. Doesn't matter which one you use, I would just advise you to use this one. Okay, fine, so y take away 3 has to be equal to our m, x take away 10. Okay? Now have a think about how we want our final answer to be left. Okay? We need everything to be integers. So why not make everything an integer now? So you see here, this negative 3/4 screws things up. How can I get rid of that? Times by 4 on both sides. So this times by 4 is 4y. Negative 3 times by 4 is negative 12. Negative 3 times by 4 is negative 3. And of course, this has already been multiplied anyway. So good? Okay, good. And then you just fiddle around with this. So you get 4y, take away 12, equals negative 3x plus 30. Get everything on the same side. So 4y plus 3x. Negative 12, take away 30. There's your negative 42. That's, of course, equal to 0. Questions? Is this okay? All right, okay. Now, if you look at part 3 is a show that question. Now, people tend to get confused with show that questions with how they should actually answer it, okay? What is this question really asking? So it says, show that the tangent to the circle at B has this equation, 4x minus 3y minus 31 equals 0. What is this question really getting at? What's this question really asking? It's a proof question, yeah. But if you had to rephrase this question, what's it really asking me to do? Yes, exactly. It says, imagine if you didn't know that that was the equation of the tangent. Imagine if we didn't tell you that. Find me the equation of the tangent of B. In fact, that's how I want you to answer this question. So if it's a show that question, do it as if it was a find the equation of the tangent rather than show that the equation of tangent. So it's almost like they're giving you the answer. They're giving you something to head towards. So if you do all this work, if you find the equation of the tangent and it doesn't come out as this, then you're stuck. Okay, you must have done something wrong. Is that okay with everyone? Good. All right, okay, so let's do this then. So let's imagine the question said, find the equation of the tangent to the circle at B. Okay, so a tangent, what's that?
A straight line that touches one point of the circle.
Exactly. So a tangent to a circle is a line that touches the curve once and only once. So I'm basically asking you, find the equation of this line. Right. Now just think, it's a straight line. What two pieces of information do we need? Good. And what else? Gradient and a point. Fantastic. Do we have a point?
Yeah.
We've got B. B definitely lies on the line. So let's go with that. 10-3. Do we have a gradient? Do we have a gradient yet? But we can work it out, right? So we have the gradient of this line, okay? So what's the relationship between a radius and a tangent? They meet at 90 degrees to each other. So they are definitely perpendicular. So this line, which we just found, and this line are perpendicular. Yeah, exactly. We found this over here, right? We found the gradient of the blue line as negative 3/4. Which means that the gradient of the red line is going to be perpendicular to it. So it's going to be, sorry, I know you said it, Batikan. 4/3. It's okay? Now have a look. What version of the formula are we going to use? Y equals mx plus c, or y take away y1 equals m times x minus x1? What do you reckon? I'd go with this one, because if you have a look at how it wants our answer to be left, That's in general form, right? That's basically ax plus by plus c equals 0. You good with that? All right, okay, so let's use that. So we've got y take away y1 equals m times x minus x1, okay? So y take away 3 equals m times x take away 10. Is that clear with everyone? Yep. Okay, now again, have we got any fractions in our final answer? No, so we want it all to be left as an integer. So what could we do to get rid of the fractions? Good. Happy with that? Okay. Expand this thing out. So 3y take away 9 equals 4x minus 40. Okay. And then if we get everything on the same side, I'll just finish it off for you. 3y take away 4x, negative 9, add 40. That's negative 31, right? Try that again. Equals 0, which is exactly what we wanted to show. You happy we answered the question? Yep, good. So again, treat it as find the equation of the straight line instead of show the equation of the straight line. Okay. And if you get the right answer, then you've shown it. Is that clear to everyone?